It is so great to see everyone and to hear the noise level in the room. That's a good sign. That means we have the right people who are not afraid to talk, because all of today is going to be about engaging each other and talking through how we can elevate biomaterials research towards more clinical translation. So good morning. My name is Lola Eniola. I am one of the PIs for this Biomaterials Center grant. It is all about centering margins in biomaterials research, and we're excited to be leading this center. And my co-PI, Kelly Stevens, is here. She'll jump in a little bit. We thought it was gonna be, it's useful to start this morning session giving you a framework for what this grant is about. It's an NIH and IBIB funded biomaterials network, a U24. This is a kind of mechanism that NIH institutes often use when there is a critical topic or a critical research area that they want to infuse energy to or accelerate. And NIBIB felt like biomaterials research was one of those, and biomaterials technology was one of those things that they wanted to see more of. So we started by just giving you a sense of what NIBIB put in the call that we applied for that funded this grant, right? They want to address translational barriers faced by biomaterials-based technology across the development spectrum, right? So there is no preconceived notion of what biomaterials research is. That's good. And basically the goal is how do we incorporate and integrate so that we have more effective translation of all of this cutting edge work that we're all doing in our science. And NIBIB is putting its money where it's mouth in saying that we know that the center can identify barriers, and we have funding that we can put to this to help accelerate things. And these were the three key things they wanted to see. Building translational resources for the community, so that more of us can have the know-how in terms of how to take our research from bench to the bedside. And they've had a strong feeling that modeling and simulation has to be a pillar for biomaterials research, and we agree with them. Of course, part of that is to make sure that we're all speaking the same language scientifically. So there is a component of education and training program there. So that is the framework that NIH laid out. And when we applied, again, I reached out to my very good friend, Kelly Stevens, and I said, this biomaterials network call sounds like I can use it to settle a gripe I've had for a long time. Many of you will not call me a biomaterials researcher. And to be honest, before I applied, I was not a biomaterials researcher, but I do use... Same. I do use biomaterials in the technology that I build. And many times the frustration is not fully recognizing the intricacy of what it takes to build the biomaterials. And importantly, when I'm having conversations with colleagues, we're often not on the same page, even when we're talking about the same biomaterials. When I say PEG gel, they say, what kind? I say, what do you mean, what kind? So those kinds of frustration pent up. And the fact that I have a wealth of data in how materials interact with plasma, which is the area of research that I work in, and not fully, there is no framework for me to understand what that means in terms of how that materials interface with the cells. And so that sort of was my bone to pick, and I said, I think this center is a way for us to do that, in the sense of how do we all get on the same page and understand what our biomaterials are doing when it's interfacing with the living tissue, which I'm convinced is one key thing that we have to push forward to begin to see more of our technology translating into that. Okay, so that's what where this map comes in. I viewed myself at the margins of biomaterials research. And there is a core, the folks who have the know-how in terms of what a biomaterial is, the folks who are driving the lingo in terms of how we name and how we use biomaterials. And we made a pitch to NIH that if we're going to see landmark translation, we gotta get the people at the margins talking to the people at the center. And that those conversations is gonna unlock new ways of thinking about biomaterials research which we're convinced can lead to innovative technology that can also be rapidly translated. And so the goal of this center is essentially having the center, the folks who have the know-how, move to the margins to partner with people that are often on the fringe of biomaterials research. That's the concept that we borrowed from Bell's Hook, and we applied it to biomaterials research in this way. This is maybe what you might consider the core of biomaterials research, nanomaterials, tissue engineering, hydrogels. Don't hold us to those. I'm sure there are more things in the core. But at the fringe are things that are related or can actually enhance the core. Computational AI, synthetic protein, for example. And we believe that NIBIB wants us to think about business and commercialization. There are innovation in those areas as well that can feed into how we design our technology. And so that's the goal and that's the hope for today, is that we're going to have more of us. There are folks here. How many of you are computational researchers that are in the room? Very cool. How many of you are sort of this is your first engagement with biomaterials research? Don't be shy, we love you. We are excited for you to be here, so thank you.